Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar. My name is Scott Nads, and I'm the VP of Marketing and Sales from Ensemble Video, and I'll be moderating this webinar. In this webinar, we're going to cover a few of the ways to rethink your flipped classroom. A couple housekeeping items. First, we're recording this webinar, and it will be shared with you after the event. Also, you have been muted, so please use the GoToWebinar questions window to submit your questions. We'll be answering them at the end of this webinar. Thanks again for joining this webinar. As we know, flipped classrooms maximize productivity and keep students engaged. Today, we are lucky to have an experienced classroom flipper, K-12 science teacher, Jasper Fox Sr. Jasper Fox Sr. teaches earth science at Lakeland High School in Lakeland Central School District, which is located in Shrub Oak, New York. And for those of you outside of New York State, or if you're unfamiliar, that's just north of New York City. Currently in his 16th year of teaching, Jasper has developed a very successful classroom model focusing on student engagement that includes many transformative uses of technology. Jasper is going to walk us through how he uses Ensemble Video and other video tools to successfully implement flipped learning into his classroom. Thanks so much for joining us, Jasper. I'm going to give you presenter rights so we can get started.
All right. Thank you, Scott. And you can hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great. So I'm Jasper Fox Sr., and I'm really excited and honored to talk about how I use Ensemble Video today for this webinar. The first thing I basically would like to say is that shorter videos are better, and I pulled this little diagram off of Ensemble's page, one of their industry guest blogs, from one of their content creator experts. And it really just highlights how important it is when you are using videos for anything, but I think it really translates to use with students that shorter videos are better. And this really tells you that, if someone, especially a student, is looking at the timestamp of how long a video is, and it's a long video, they're really not going to be able to hold through it. So originally, when I started making videos, I thought 10 minutes was a good idea for a length, and I really quickly realized that that was just way too long. So I cut it down to maybe making them around 5 minutes. And it was around that point that I started including some student surveys to see how my students liked the videos and what I could do better with making the videos and stuff. And they basically said that 5 minutes was too long as well. So I was lucky that that was pretty early on in making videos for my students. So I really quickly started making videos that were a lot shorter. So right now my videos are between 1, 2 to maybe 3 minutes at the most. So when you are making videos for your students, try to really distill down to like one vocabulary word or one idea that you want, and not make them too complicated and too lengthy. And I think that really, really helps a lot. Another thing that I'm really passionate about is making your own videos. I think that it's really special when students can hear your voice and see their classroom and see examples that maybe they even were working on themselves. This is a screen grab from one video that I made when I talk about density, and it's just a little lab demonstration that I do in the front of the classroom, but the students can see those are the same colors of water that I used in the classroom, and they can hear my voice. It really helps also because it can eliminate misconceptions, or if there's videos from other states where they use different vocabulary words, you can really sort of reduce perpetuating misconceptions or misunderstandings. The other thing that I really think is important is students can really quickly sense how much effort you put into something. And I think that there's a possibility that videos could become like the new worksheets, where it's really easy for a teacher to just grab a link and assign a video to a student. It's almost easier than making a worksheet. And it can really quickly, I think, turn into something that students will resist. So if you make your own videos, students can really sense how much you're putting into it. And I think they respond by putting a lot of effort back in as well. When I make my videos, I try to incorporate multimodalities. And what I mean by that is I try to mix them up. So when I started by just narrating my PowerPoints, and that's a great way to start. That's what I recommend anybody to start with. So you can see that one is in the lower center. Um, but I also have indulged in my artistic side, if you want to say, in the upper right hand corner with a follow along drawing that I do a video in steps and the students draw on a piece of paper. And they end up with a diagram of a topic. This one's about plate tectonics. And then in the upper left is one where they actually see my face. Now this one I've incorporated a little bit of humor into. I modeled it after a cooking show where I talk about surface area, but I like to keep them flowing and make them all different a little bit, and I like to definitely just not make them all look the same. And I think that's something that increases engagement as well.
And Jasper, I have a quick question on that. So, when you talk about doing the cooking show video,
Yes.
how worried are you about being perfect? One thing that I hear a lot about from people that are starting to create videos is they're trying to be perfect. I think they're used to broadcast TV. How concerned are you with perfection versus kind of just going free form like you almost do in the classroom?
Well, I want to make sure I'm not making mistakes, Scott, but I am not looking for them to be totally perfect. You know, there's always a little, kind of maybe a little stammer or a stutter here or something like that. It's rare that it goes off without a hitch. But one of the things about keeping the video shorter is that if you do make a mistake, it's not a huge time commitment to film it again. But I'm definitely not going for perfect because that's another thing that people will see is that you're human and you're just trying your best.
Good point. Good point. Thanks.
So another thing that I really strive to do and Ensemble really helps me with is organize my content. Um, So on the right, the vertical right is categories, and basically you could basically tag all of your videos, and then in the search bar, if a student wants to find for astronomy, for example, they just type in astronomy and the videos that you've tagged on astronomy come up. So that's really handy. And then also separating them into channels, something I'll get to a little bit later, but it groups all the videos in the similar topics together. And I think that's really important so that you just don't have just a mass of videos out there. You have them organized into some meaningful groups, which all goes towards basically making them easier to watch. You wanna take down as many barriers as possible that stand between the student and the videos, so it's really easy for them to watch. And this is, going along on that topic. Ensemble's goal is to deliver to any viewer on any device at any time the videos, and Ensemble does a great job with that, especially with their adaptive bitrate, which is when you upload a video into Ensemble, it basically creates a couple different copies at different screen resolutions, and those are optimized to different um, like bandwidth uh, requests or requirements. So a student can watch it with a poor Wi-Fi, poor connection on a cell phone, or can watch it on a really, really strong connection, and they all get the content. And I think that's really important as well. So students could watch the videos on Ensemble Video pretty much anywhere and at any time and on any device. So now I'm going to go through some of the products that I use with Ensemble Video. So Anthem is it's a relatively new tool that's in, I believe, Ensemble Pro, right, Scott?
No, the Ensemble, normal Ensemble, we're working with Ensemble Anthem. There is a Ensemble Anthem Pro version. That Pro version
Okay.
allows groups to put it on like classroom teacher stations for lecture capture.
Okay. Sorry, so I got that a little wrong. But Anthem I've used for a number of my videos, and I like to call it super easy screen recording. And basically, this would be a great entry point for anybody who's looking to get into making videos for their students with using Ensemble. Um, I remember when I was starting making my videos, I had to basically figure out kind of a convoluted workflow on how to make my videos, how to edit my videos. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on fancy software. Excuse me. Um, and so Anthem basically does all that for you. Within the Ensemble, um, portal, if you will, you can basically record your screen, record the audio, and then edit it, do some light editing, and then it goes right into your Ensemble playlist. So it's like a one-stop shop. And it would be a really great place for a teacher who's looking to get into creating videos for their students. Um, so Anthem is really great, really powerful screen recording. Dropbox is probably one of my favorite tools that Ensemble offers, and I use it with my students. I have my students make their own videos. Since I'm passionate about making videos, I thought it would just be natural to have my students make videos. So I have my students make videos for like projects and stuff, something that they want to that they want to be an expert on, some topics that they're very interested in. And so originally, before I discovered Ensemble and before my school district subscribed to it, I was using YouTube, and it was a real nightmare to get all my student videos published. And the Dropbox really just makes it so much more streamlined. I've included the page that students would visit. They put their name in, they put a description about their video, and then at the bottom you see add file. And so they add their finished video file, and then they upload it, and it goes straight into my media library, where then I can watch it, I can grade it, and then I can publish it to the appropriate playlist. So Dropbox is a really cool and really powerful product that I would definitely recommend for teachers who have their students make video content.
Jasper, I have a question on the Dropbox. I mean, how do students take it if they're new to your process and say, hey, you have to make a video project? I mean, is it something that are they intimidated by, or are they, pretty fluent in terms of creating videos?
They can be. It's really fascinating, Scott, because we sort of assume that students are, we call them the digital natives, if you will, but they really don't have a lot of fluency in the, a little bit more involved, like making a video. They don't really, it's rare that students really know how to do that. So, I factor in more time than maybe would be intuitive. And then I'm with them side by side through the whole process. Um, so by the end, they could do it again on their own. But it's all part of the process, and something like Dropbox just makes it a lot easier for them to get their finished product.
Great. Yeah, I assume like some of them don't really know how to kind of storyboard, or they kind of don't have an outline prior to maybe creating their video. But I'm assuming they learn over time and they get better over time.
Definitely. Well, part of the whenever I do this project would be definitely making a script, and then I have them literally write down every single word that they're gonna say, like including like, "Hi, my name is Jasper." Like they write that out so that they know exactly what they're gonna say, and they don't have any pauses and things like that.
Right.
So it's a good learning process on how to do that project.
Nice.
Another thing that I really like to use my videos for is virtual field trips. I travel around New York State with my family and out of New York State too, but I get the opportunity to visit some really cool places that I can sort of bring back to my classroom. Here is Letchworth Gorge out in Western New York State. There's always questions on our end of the year exam on Letchworth Gorge, and it's just cool to be able to have the students see it rather than just be like a boring multiple choice question. So this also with Ensemble Live, which is the live streaming feature. It's a app on a smartphone, and you can actually do a live stream that goes right into your library playlist. And I just really feel like this is one of the really powerful parts of video production for students is you can really take them along to different places and help them put some of the concepts that they're learning about in class into context. Um, so I have a virtual field trips channel on my portal so that students can see some of the different trips I've gone on to help them learn. Another thing that's really awesome is customizing the portal. And I've had some help from Carla Stoffler at it's the Lower Hudson Regional Information Center. Yes, the Lyric. And she did a great job customizing my Ensemble portal. So I'm just going to click out to the internet so that you can check it out. It's going a little slow right when I need it, but there we go. So it's cool because like you can see up in the upper left-hand corner, it has my school logo, and she did a really nice job helping me brand it with like the school colors and stuff. I picked this really nice, there's a couple different versions you can pick. I picked this one with the little slider up here, so I have a few like featured videos up here. And then these channels, this is what I was talking about with organizing my videos. I have them broken into the different content topics that I go through the year. So you can see, done quite a few videos on rocks and minerals here, but they're all basically in different like channels, if you will, and they basically help organize it a lot better. You could click on one and it brings you to a collection of those videos that you could spend some time watching. So being able to customize the portal is really powerful, I think, and it definitely adds a ton of value with Ensemble Video and making it a lot more school appropriate. Really, there's no distractions of you might also like this video or whatever. It just keeps it, to me, a lot more school appropriate. So I love the fact that you can really customize the portal.
Yeah, that portal is amazing, Jasper. I mean, I think every time I go to it, because I check it out every once in a while, I'm always interested in seeing where the types of videos you're creating, and it's really it is nice that you can customize it. But I think the best thing is that you're populating with so many different types of videos in terms of your, like you mentioned, your multiple modality. It's really impressive.
Thank you very much, Scott. Thank you. And then the last thing that I was gonna leave you with that I really love about Ensemble Video is that you can make custom thumbnails for your videos. If you noticed on my portal, each of the videos has the thumbnail has the like basically the title screen, and this is one of the differences from one of the many differences from YouTube to Ensemble is that Ensemble makes this so easy. This is a screen grab of the interface where you can make the custom thumbnails, and you basically, you play the video, you press the green button when you get to the point in the video that you want the thumbnail to be, and then it just saves it below. In YouTube, you don't really have a choice. They give you like 3 choices, and usually they're not the main beginning screen. So I don't believe on YouTube the videos look as professional. You can upload your own like JPEG in YouTube, but it's such a hassle because then you need to like do a screen capture and then save it and then upload it. It's like, so many steps. This is just really, really smooth, and I think it helps make the videos look a lot more professional. So those are some of my favorite tools with Ensemble Video. I hope that everybody, found this interesting and learned something, or has some questions that I know Scott mentioned, be able to answer at the conclusion of the webinar.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jasper. What you're doing is really impressive. It's not common. I mean, we talk to a lot of teachers and see a lot of teachers out there, and there's a lot going on with flipped learning, but you have taken it to a whole nother level, and it is incredibly impressive what you do. So hopefully, like you said, everybody learned something, and we are trying to wrap this up in the next few minutes, so we're going to wind this down. But I wanted to provide a little context. Some of you are not familiar with Ensemble. Basically, what Ensemble is a video platform, and Jasper mentioned YouTube a couple times. So we do get this question of, how is Ensemble video different from YouTube, or what is Ensemble? And ultimately, we allow you to capture all different types of content, manage that content in our system, and then publish that content online. So Jasper showed a few ways that he is capturing content. One especially was Ensemble Anthem and our mobile app called Ensemble Live. Those videos then get put into Ensemble Video, where you can add closed captions, you can annotate, you can trim them, you can change the thumbnails, and then those videos can be published to your learning management system. We have a YouTube feed. You can also ingest from YouTube, and we have the portal feature. So Ensemble's in place to kind of take your video to the next level in the education space. And I think, when I get the questions of how are we different, I'm going to show you 3 very simple ways where we're very, very different from YouTube. We offer things that YouTube just doesn't do right now. One is video quizzes. So many of our customers and educators want to take video from this passive experience of just watching a video to an interactive experience. So our customers are now adding video quizzes. So we support multiple choice, true, false, and multi-select questions. And basically, you can either allow the student to navigate between the questions or force the student to watch the video, take the questions at certain points and times in the video. So you'll obviously get results, and those videos are going to be, the results will be going into a grade book. So video quizzes are one specific way where we're very different from YouTube. If you're interested in taking video from this passive experience to a very interactive experience. Also, we're a much more accessible video solution. Today, accessibility is a key thing in education. So accessibility includes closed captions, interactive transcripts, downloadable transcripts, audio descriptions, and the video has to be delivered in a media player that can be controlled by keyboard shortcuts. Ensemble offers all of these options, and this is basically a screenshot of our interactive transcript where you can search inside the video, click to certain times in videos, again, turn audio descriptions on, turn on or off closed captions. And then finally, Jasper mentioned screen capture, and with Anthem, and we have a new offering, which is a Chrome recorder extension, which I'm going to demonstrate here. So if any of you use Chrome, which I'm assuming most of you do, you now are going to be able to use our free Chrome extension. So I'm going to demonstrate that quickly in my browser. So this will work great if you are, using Chromebooks in your school. Students or educators can use this. So first of all, I've already downloaded the extension. Let's go into the Chrome extension here, and you can see I've already signed in. I'm going to be able to record my desktop or my webcam. In this case, I'll do my desktop. I, of course, can choose my microphone, and I'm going to start recording. So I'm going to get my 5-second countdown. You can actually change that countdown, and it's going to ask me, what do I want to capture? Do I want to just do my application window like Excel or PowerPoint, or my entire screen? So in this case, I'm just going to stick with my entire screen. And you can see now I'm actually recording my screen here. In this case, I'm just going to navigate through some tabs. And this is my learning management system. After I record this video, it's going to auto-publish right to this playlist in my learning management system. So I could be teaching something about family budgeting. I could be demonstrating something, doing a slide deck, whatever I want to do in this Chrome recorder extension. And when I hit stop, I'm now going to be able to preview this and upload it directly into Ensemble Video. And here's the magic of Ensemble. This is going to automatically publish right to, say, my teacher web page or my learning management system. So when I upload this, This is going to take the file and again, put it right in Ensemble, and it's going to place it right into my learning management system. So in this case today, I'm actually using Canvas. Works with Blackboard, Moodle, WordPress, things like that. I'm going to go back here into Canvas and refresh. And what you're going to see is my most recent video will be publishing here. Let me go to here. And my video should be publishing here in the next couple seconds. And ultimately, it will go right into my LMS. Now, what's also nice about the Chrome Recorder extension is, you see the videos playing right here. The Chrome Recorder extension is, it will actually store my videos on my device. Of course, I can delete them as needed. You do have the ability to download them. So the Chrome Recorder extension is going to be a big change and a big upgrade for our customers. So that's also a big difference from YouTube. So before we jump into questions, I just wanted to thank everybody, especially Jasper and our attendees, for attending this webinar. Now let's open it up for questions. I'm going to kind of peek at the questions window and we'll start asking some questions. So I just got a question on cost. So Daniel, without going into too many specifics, I'll probably just email you offline. There are a cloud system which you can use that is based on storage. So you can get unlimited users. You can use the Chrome extension and get all the publishing and use it in the cloud, or you could host it at your school. And depending where you are, there could be a managed service provider that already hosts it. For example, Jasper mentioned the Lower Hudson Region Informational Center. They actually host it for over 20 school districts in the Lower Hudson region. So I will email you offline in terms of the costs. Jasper, Daniel also asked a question, what devices do you use to record your own handwriting when producing instructional video?
So the one that I use for recording my handwriting is called Doceri, and it's either I think $5 or $10. It's an iPad app, and it's really cool. So that's the one I use. It's Doceri.
Great, thanks, Jasper. Does anybody else have any other questions for Jasper? I know I have a question. Jasper, what triggered you? What was the trigger when you really begun to create multiple videos, not just once in a while? What really got you? What was the trigger? What was the switch that flipped when you really started creating a ton of content?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. It's actually when my basement flooded the weekend before school started, like almost about 10 years ago. And I was the teacher. I had like dutifully created all tons of worksheets and stuff. Like, on my own made the worksheets that I wanted to make and, stuff like that. And that was all lost the weekend before school started. And so I was faced with this choice of like, do I recreate all these worksheets or do I, do something new? And actually, my wife encouraged me because I'd been sort of talking about it. She said, "Well, this is a great opportunity. Why don't you start making videos?" And so really, it was my basement flooding. But so it was that year I started making videos, and one of the first videos I made was the first lab that I do during the year is the density of liquids, and it involves like, graduated cylinders and vegetable oil, and oftentimes students would drop them, and there'd be broken glass, and there'd be vegetable oil on the floor and stuff like that, because in the past, I would explain what they're going to do, and then they would go and do it. And as you can imagine, some of them weren't really listening or paying attention, so they would make a mistake. And so that year, what I noticed was I made the video, I gave them like a few days or a week to watch it. And when they came back we came back to do the lab, there was nothing broken and nothing spilled, and they really understood what they were going to do. So it was really like very powerful, and that really gave me the inspiration to keep going. And it was also right around that time that I discovered Twitter and a really great community of people, including John Bergman, who were really generous with just ideas or inspiration or even just encouragement to keep making the videos. And so through that process, I realized that I really liked it. So that's really what keeps me going is I really like it. I'm passionate about making them. I have fun when I make them, and I think, well, I hope that comes through when people watch my videos. But that's what really keeps me going is I really love making videos.
Yeah, nice. You can tell, Jasper. I always, anytime I check your portal out or your Twitter feed, I do, wish my kids could be in your classroom. I think they'd really enjoy it. Now we have another question. What grades do you use when you're using video, and what advice do you have for teachers of younger or less experienced students, tech experienced students? And additionally, teachers who are less tech experienced. So, kind of what advice do you have for teachers of young students who are not as tech experienced, or teachers that are not as tech experienced when they get into kind of flipping their classroom?
Well, most of my career, actually up until this year, was in middle school. So I don't know how young students we're talking about, but it's really just be easy with yourself. See if you can get somebody to like, I don't know if mentor is the right word, but find somebody who knows a little bit more and, see if they can help you and try not to look at something like my portal and say, why don't I have that yet? I mean, that portal is, 10 years of work basically. So, just try to be easy on yourself and go slowly, do little bits at a time. Don't expect that you're going to make videos for every single topic right away. Maybe pick one topic that you're going to teach at the end of this school year and make a few videos for it and then see how it goes. I always test things out that I want to do, new things I test out like in the last quarter of the year. So maybe May and June, I'll try a couple new things just to see how they go and if I might like to do them more. Um, but as far as with younger students, I would just make the videos even shorter and even simpler. So really just really just stick to like one vocabulary word or one topic and really, 30-second video or a minute video. It also helps you be able to explain things more succinctly.
Yeah, that's really a good point. I think, like I said, the shorter and simpler, and also not creating unreasonable expectations, I think was important what you mentioned. I think I agree as I talk to other teachers that they are intimidated when they see the one teacher that gets it, not just gets the idea of flipped classroom, but gets information technology. And I think having realistic expectations and understanding that it's baby steps, just like we understand that our students are going to have, it takes them time to learn. Some learn at different paces. So I think that's really good advice, Jasper. I have another great question here. Again, this person says, it seems like this could be a lot of work to create all these videos. Um, are there ways that creating videos has made your life or in teacher life easier?
That is a really great question. And it actually goes to my advice on like, what do you make your first video on? So it's made my teaching life a lot easier because I make videos on things that I feel like I've explained a million times. All right. So like that cooking show video is a great example. The one that I had the thumbnail in the presentation. I would explain about cooking mashed potatoes, right? I felt like it was a million times. I didn't want to explain it anymore. It was just like I just didn't want to explain it. I felt like I did it a million times. So making that video, right, allows me to, it's not that I don't explain it anymore, right? I could still explain it in class, but it's also there so that students could, if they were absent that day or um, they need a refresher on it, right? They could view that video. So in a lot of ways, it makes the teacher experience easier because you don't have to explain things as many times over and over, and you don't kind of get aggravated about it. Um, so if you were looking for the first video for yourself to make, think about that one thing that you sort of get annoyed at, if you will, that you just feel like you've had to explain a million times, right? And make a video about that. But the other thing is, I think it makes it just more rich. Like, yes, they do take time, and I like to geek out on the some of the other aspects, like of editing them, and I like to add a little music and stuff to the beginning and end. So yeah, it does definitely take time. But like I said before, I really like making the videos. So, for me, it's time well spent.
No, that's a great answer. And I think just to show you, like what I did was I pulled up your portal and you were mentioning the cooking video. So if I'm a student, I can just come into a portal that you've created and you've taken the time to at least add some metadata, which is also important. So I can search on the word cooking and say, hey, remember my teacher was talking about cooking? And now I can easily just consume this content. So that's a really good point. And again, this is just a fantastic portal. I mean, all the content you create, it's always very interesting. I know when the Minecraft craze was going on, I used to see Minecraft videos in here, and I did see that earlier. Going on your vacations and spending your time to create videos for your students while you're on a family vacation is also very admirable. It's impressive. I have another question here from Mike. Is there a cost for the Chrome extension within existing Ensemble sites? And the answer is no. The Chrome extension is designed to be, first of all, simple, but free. So it is not as functional or feature rich as Ensemble Anthem by design, but is again designed to be very simple and free for anybody to use. So again, you can record your desktop and your webcam, which is fantastic. So we will obviously be sending more information out to our Ensemble customers on that very shortly, but no, there's no cost for that, Mike. Are there any other questions? I think that's our last question. Again, Jasper, thanks so much for joining us and grinding through this. I know you're a little bit under the weather today, and if anybody has any questions, you can find our contact information on screen. Jasper's a great follow on Twitter. He also has his own website, and of course, if you have any questions related to Ensemble Video, my contact information is on the screen. You will be getting a follow-up email with this recording, so if you would like to share this with any of your colleagues, please do. And again, thank you so much, Jasper. We
It's
really
my
appreciate
pleasure,
your
Scott.
time.
Thanks for having
And
me.
keep up the great work, man. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much. Take care.